JD, like we know, life goes on, whether it's going on in the NFL, NBA, all this stuff. In general, life goes on. If you're not there, things are going to continue to happen. And that's that's one of the things that can be a threat as far as if you are going to do these things off the field, mistakes, he's young, but stuff's going to happen. Life continues. The NFL doesn't stop because one guy's going to go to jail or get fined or whatnot. So the Chiefs have been like they were with Rice and Hollywood Brown. They're continuing to work out with guys. And we saw videos of Kadarius Toney, or we saw videos of Skyy Moore, Justyn Ross, Hollywood Brown last week. And then today, right before I came on, you got Kadarius Toney in line catching balls from Patrick Mahomes. We talked about this 2 weeks ago, JD. You said if we start to see videos of other guys working out and Kadarius Toney not there, that's when you could say, okay, there's something going on there, red flag there. Watch, he may not be. I could see a Chiefs where he would not be on this team. Now we're 2 weeks away from 2 weeks after this whole Rashee Rice stuff. You got the newcomer Hollywood Brown there. You got Skyy there. You got Justyn Ross there. Our training camp superhero Justyn Ross, Skyy Moore. Maybe building back up a little bit this year. And then Kadarius Toney's coming in there and getting reps with Rashee Rice with this whole murky situation going on with Rashee Rice. JD, how excited and happy are you to see that? Think about all the stuff we've heard with Kadarius Toney, he saying he wasn't actually injured, the healthy scratch Super Bowl. And fast forward to April, he's running routes in Texas with Patrick Mahomes and the newcomer Hollywood Brown and some of the guys already on the squad. How excited are you to maybe we can actually see a little bit of Kadarius Toney this year and actually in a role where that may actually suit him, and the fact that he's actually getting routes with Patrick Mahomes in the offseason right now?
Amazing. I mean, that's where it should be. If you're going to buy in, you're going to be all in, then you got to be down there working out with the rest of the guys. Hopefully this is an indication of him buying all the way in. Hopefully he's healthy and doing this. And then I want to see more of it. When I'm looking at these names, Hollywood, KT, Skyy, and Justyn all working out with Pat. Those are the guys that need to work out with Pat. Those guys are going to benefit from working out with Pat right now. They're going to just get a lot better, get on the same page. But I like the four that's there. These four guys are all talented guys. They are. Hollywood Brown, we've seen what he's been able to do in the league. Now having an elite quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, he's just going to get even better. Okay. Can't wait to see it. KT, like I said, I hope he's buying into it, going out there, seeing what other people are doing. Hope he understands and realizes, like, look, man, this thing is on the line. This might be your last shot to actually fit in with a team that people ain't talking bad about you, right? Somebody's talking about like the grace that Andy Rees shows, like he's a leader of men. Absolutely. Hopefully he let him know, like, look, man, no more of this craziness. Okay. You're going to buy in. This is what it's going to be. You got to show me. And hopefully he did it on his own. Hopefully Pat called. He's like, yeah, man, I'll come on down there. So I think this is important. Skyy Moore, I always said Skyy was one of those guys who's going to take some time to develop. Hopefully this year might be a breakout year for Skyy. Okay. Hopefully get a little bit more opportunity to do some things, get a little bit more confidence to understand, like, okay, I'm starting to figure this thing out. Right. So it's good to see him down there. Justyn Ross. Right now, I do think with this thing happening with Rashee Rice, unfortunate incident, kind of opened the door for Justyn Ross to be there. Okay, might be a pathway for him to actually get a little bit more playing time. We know he's talented. We know he can catch football. He did something wrong the past off season. Hope he's learned his lesson. I think he has. I think maybe he's like, look, there's certain things that guys can and cannot do, right? And I think he's learned his lesson. I think he's like, look, I need to be locked in all the way. If Pat's there, I got to be there. I don't care if Pat is going to the Lakers game. I better be 5 rows up. Okay, if I can't get floor seats, I better be 5 rows up. All right. If that sucker's walking the dog, I better be out there like, man, I'll take him the next half mile for you, Pat. Don't worry about it. And I'll pick up the poop, whatever it is, right? Just being silly. But I think that it has to be that level of buy-in. Okay, I think it has to necessarily be at that level, man. It really does. So I like all 4 of these guys being there, man. That's so important. That's what they need to be. That's what they need to be, especially this offseason. So,
and how much of this, like, for last week, KT wasn't there, and it was when the video released like Friday. I was going to make the topic, and that's the thing. The topic of tonight's show with this topic was going to be KT's not there. What do you make of it? You said there's going to be a red flag if he wasn't there, and I had to remake everything because what happened? He's there. And my question is, how much do you think the Rashee Rice stuff that's going on with having our seemingly number one receiver going through legal trouble? How much do you think that has kind of brought these guys together? What, be it you mentioned Justyn Ross could actually see a pathway of getting looks. Be it just a kind of like, hey man, like we're still a unit. We need to come together and we need to work our asses off. Do you think that it may have played a role and has played a role in like getting these guys together? Like, hey man, we need to look right. We need to get together here.
I'll tell you what, with what's happening to Rashee Rice, I think because this is a small group, when you're on a team, man, you got each other's backs. And I think this has played a part. I don't know how big, but these guys are looking at it. And they hate to see Rashee Rice going through it, man. You hate to see it. One of your brothers going through this type of pain. So, yeah, this probably brought them a little bit closer together, right? I mean, I can imagine the conversation they have with one another. So if my brothers are struggling, man, I'm right there with them. I wonder what I could do to help out, what we need to do as a family to pick each other up, okay? And look, they're going to find criticism because of the guy that's out there, right? KT, people can wait, where he's at, not buying in. Yeah, it would have been a bad look if he wasn't there. So, yeah, show up. So now I'm sure it's being reiterated like, hey, man, look, you got to be here. We see the type of things are going on outside of this. We need to all be here for one another. We need to get our stuff straight. And so this is going to be it. The selfish part will be like, oh, man, ain't got nothing to do with me. That's shoot, it's family. It's family. He goes through something, we all going through it. That's how it works. And if you're not bought in and you just, you want to be the selfish guy, like, nah, look, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Fine, be that guy. Okay. And you're going to show yourself to be that guy. They're going to find out. And I'm sure your days are numbered. You don't want to be here, right? So, yeah, man, when I'm telling you, for a team, we're just a tight-knit group of guys. I talk to my teammates, man, all the time. Well, every single day. I talk to my teammates every single day. Some of them, you know what I mean? I have a different text feeds. One feed I got 20 guys on. Another feed I got like 12. Another feed I got like 8. You know what I'm saying? These are everyday conversations, and it's sending jokes, or talking about certain things, and this is what we do. This is your family. This is the guy that you've been going to war with every single day. Okay, you've been hanging out with, eating dinner with. You know what I mean? Your families. How's everybody doing? How the kids are doing? Some brother, Uncle Jason. I know they get, hey, Uncle Jason. I'm up to them, right? That's how it is. My kids, vice versa. They know my kids, and so how are they doing? What's going on with them? So when you have that type of village where everybody loves one another and actually looking for everybody's success, hoping everybody's doing well, that's very important. It's very important. And I think just with this type of tragic situation, Rashee Rice brought everybody a little bit together, man. About a little bit together.
And do you think this can dispel the notion that that Kadarius Toney, there's bad blood with Kadarius Toney and the Chiefs, the fact that he's running routes with Patrick Mahomes right now?
I think it's put him on a hot seat, and I'm sure they've had this conversation. And I'm sure he's aware of that, and I'm sure he's been made aware of that. So that's all I'll say about it. But it sometimes you gotta have a no nonsense approach to things, and I'm telling you, they get rid of guys. Hey, teams don't need you. The thing that really guys really understand when you get to the NFL is they're gonna be able to do without you. They can. Several guys can play in any positions, and they'll get rid of you anytime they need to get rid of you. That's the way it works. So you ain't so bigger than the Chiefs. You ain't bigger than KC. You're not bigger than the NFL. You're not. There's thousands of people knocking on the doors that have talent. They don't need anybody. Okay, they're gonna be able to win without you. And if they don't, they can't. They're not gonna have a guy to disrupt the team. They're like, look, we'd rather lose than win with a guy like this. I can remember saying Al Saunders. I ain't gonna say who he used to talk about. We used to be on film. He would talk about this receiver, and he's just like, this guy can't play for me. He can't play with us. And it wasn't. I'm sure the guy might have been a nice guy, but what was required, at least for us, our standard, what we had on the team, Al just thought he didn't fit there. Okay. From what he heard, same thing about the guy. And so it goes around the NFL. These coaches are talking all the time too. Go out to the coaches' conferences. Hey, man, they talking about these guys. You ain't going to get away from it. What you got away with at the Chiefs and something happened, do not think you go in some other place and they don't know anything about it. They're going to know it all. They're going to know it all. Sometimes these guys get followed. There's certain guys they might follow. For real.
Damn.
See what they do. That's just, man, look, if money involved, they ain't got no time to waste no money on somebody who's a problem. Who's a problem. So I just say it that. Right?
Yeah. Sending out PIs on players, huh?
Hey, man. Yo, they do it all the time. They do it all the time. And the thing is, and you may not know it, but somebody, coach might let you know, like, hey, man, look, we watching you. We got other things going on. Look, police departments got moles, okay? When guys do things off season, police department knows they got, look, TMZ, you wonder why TMZ's always where they are, right? Yeah. Well, how TMZ's always on the scene? Well, they get the story first. Because somebody there inside decided to say, hey, look what's going on with this guy. Yeah. Okay.
Well, also to the media, when I worked in local news, I was smaller scale than what the national news stuff, but there would be times where like the local police department was going to go raid something. They would let our office know, like, hey, 2:00, be blah blah blah, and like, oh, okay. All right, news crew, get over there and watch the camera crews go in and raid so and so's house or whatnot. So like, yeah, and there are elements of that for sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Hey, look, it's what's going on. Hey, this guy was involved in such. Believe me, I've had when I was in Kansas City. Y'all family, I can tell y'all this, right? I can tell y'all. It's not a real big deal, but I remember that I was driving my Roush Mustang. Beautiful car, driving. I wasn't racing anything like that, going down the road, and I got a flat tire. So I pull over to change my tire. And so while I'm changing my tire, police pull up behind me, boop, boop. Hey, what's going on? I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm over changing my tire, got a flat. They go, okay, you need help? No, your ID. Oh, sure, yeah, no problem. Well, they talking to me. The guy realized, like, oh my gosh, like Jason Dunn. I'm like, yeah, how you doing? Like, oh man, I thought it was you. Yeah. So we're talking. Well, while we're talking, there's the other cops who's running my, my name and all of that, right? So while we're talking, yeah. Are you sure? Oh, okay. So I'm like, what's going on? He said, well, we found out, man, that your license is suspended. And it's suspended maybe off of a traffic ticket or something you didn't pay. You didn't get to go to court. This is probably in Kentucky. I was living, in Kansas City. Right. Got a lot of stories. Got a lot of stories. And he was just like, man, Jason, he's like, shoot. He said, well, it's suspended. You're driving on suspended license. He said, man, we had to take you in. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. He said, hold on, man. So he gets on here. He's like, hey, listen, this is Jason. Jason said he'll take care of the traffic ticket in the morning. No problem. Because I was just like, well, I'll go ahead and take care of it. No big deal. He's like, yeah. He said, and he's talking to a sergeant. And so while he's talking to sergeant, I don't care who it is, blah, blah, blah. You need to I can hear him. And he's just like, you can see the guy, he's looking at me like shaking his head like, oh, man, I can't believe this. Like he's going crazy. And so he's like, look, Jason, he said, man, I got to take you in. You heard my sergeant. I was like, man, come on. He's like, man, orders are orders. So I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. Man. So I said, you got to put the cuffs on me. He's like, no. He said, don't worry about it. He said, "Look, just you can drive up in the front seat with me." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I actually went to the police station. I'm driving in the front seat like the ride arounds. Like it was more like a ride around. Like, yeah, we're talking. He drive me police station. I get to the police station, right? And while I'm there, I get a call on my phone. Well, it's a reporter from Kansas City calls me.
Oh, no.
I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" I ain't going to tell you who the reporter was. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" "Yeah, Jason, I heard you at the police station, man. Everything all right?" I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, how'd you know I was at the police station? He's like, "Oh, I'm like, oh, I get it." So while I'm sitting over there like this on the phone, I'm looking at the policeman at the police station. I'm like, one of these suckers done said they knew I was coming in. And so when I got there, they was just like, "Look, man, you can bail on you be released on your own reconnaissance." I think it was like 200 bail. I was like, "Man, I had it in my pocket." Bop, bop. I'm like, "Hey, cool." Took care of it in the morning, no big deal. But I'm just saying, from that, like, I hadn't even got to the police station good before I'm getting a call from the reporter. Okay, from the reporter. And so that's, these things do happen. They do happen. It's a little story right there.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm not surprised by that at all.
No,
that's crazy. And just based on the story aspect of it, all that from your tire getting flat, all that transpires because your tire got flat.
Oh yeah, no. Listen,
crazy.
City G, did anyone ask for your autograph? That's happened before. They had a cop that's like, "Hey man, you know." I remember I was like, "Hey man, like, yeah, like you gonna get me for it?" Same thing. So sometimes you know if you're getting tickets and stuff, like, "Oh, I'll pay it later," and whatever, like, it's and sure enough, license is suspended. Like, daggone, it should have took care of this, should have taken care of that, whatever. And it could be something like as innocent as that, like, daggone, like you got a lot going on, you're playing football, something happens and shoot, there it is. Well, that somebody asked for an autograph. One other time I went to the police station. And this is when I was playing with Philly. I was actually had presence in the car. They took me in, same thing. And they was trying to give me cupcakes and cookies and all type of things. I'm like, "Man, I don't want none of this, but I'm ready to get nah. So yeah.
Noah John was asking if the reporter was Jason Whitlock. Was it Jason Whitlock?
No, it wasn't Whit. It wasn't Whit.
Yeah.
Me and Whit's talking.
Yeah, news stations listen to police frequencies. That's why. Yeah. They do, but that would be to say Jason Dunn was going to the police station at that moment. That was definitely someone doing that. That it's just very general stuff gets posted.
Yeah. Well, we got Jason Dunn going, huh? Like, what?
Yeah, that would not be on there.
Yeah, you different news like high speed chase or something, like it would be like a car. You don't quite know, but yeah, man. But there's we know how these things do work. You know how they do work. So
I also think another element to all these receivers coming besides Rashee Rice component of this and potential, is also the fact that on top of the Rashee Rice stuff, there was already rumblings of us going to draft a receiver. So now on top of that, the Rashee Rice stuff, and it's like, okay, maybe it's time we need to ball out and look good because there's going to be another receiver or two coming to Kansas City. We need to buck up.
Well, that's what I was saying. I think it's important that we do get somebody who is a veteran guy. And I think we get in the draft, get a couple of dudes. You know what I mean? So, with the four that we have right here, Hollywood, KT, Skyy, and Justyn, you'll get two guys in the draft or, maybe a veteran guy and another guy in the draft, a no-miss guy. Shoot, I think you'd be good. I think with that, you should be good. Hollywood, veteran receiver who's capable of doing some things that may not cost a whole lot of money, and a no-miss guy in the first round, or the second, or get two guys like this when we did our draft show. I put two guys on there. So there's some guys out there, man, that can ball. Some guys that go out there and can ball. Who's to say that whoever we get couldn't emulate what Rashee Rice did for us last year, right? So
yeah, no, 100%. And then also Justyn Ross or Justyn Watson hasn't been to any of these clinics so far that Mahomes has put on. But that's also another guy in that room too as well. So there's some guys there But yeah, I do think this is the draft, as we mentioned on our mock draft show on Monday. And if you haven't checked that out, please check out our show from Monday. JD and Tasia both give us a really good in-depth look at their first mock draft of the season.
Competition is good. Competition is really good for these guys. And so, yeah, throw numbers in it. Yeah, without a doubt. So it's like sink or swim. What are you gonna do? You see a couple big dogs come through here. So Watson is still on a contract. I don't mean nothing. They could get rid of him like that.
Yeah.
The only contract that I think they're gonna hold on to is Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Jones. Yeah. Some of these money they gave, and we've seen like Diggs had a hit on like what 30 million, 31, and then Russell Wilson was like 32. Yeah. The team's like, hey, we just here. We don't give them they walking papers. We don't care what it looks like.
It throws out that whole argument of they're under contract. That doesn't mean teams are showing that doesn't really mean anything anymore.
Nothing. It don't mean anything. Little something they throw to it, but they need to get rid of a guy, and they're like, look, we can get better. Fine, we'll do it this way. So,
hi everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.